Hey folks, Vaping Newbie here, and did a little road trip today, and I'd like to introduce you to a new vendor. It's right now a brick and mortar. Stick around. This is going to be a little video about, we're going to do a little review or an overview on a couple products, and this all comes from a new brick and mortar in Montreal that will soon have an online shop. So you want to pay attention to these guys. They're the real deal. G2K Vapes in downtown, beautiful downtown Montreal on Saint Laurent Street. And if you're in the city, you want to check these guys out. It's a serious shop. I took some video of it, just did a little scan, and then took the time to sit down with one of the guys that was there today and had a little conversation. I hope you enjoy it. Hey guys, here I am. I'm at G2K on Saint Laurent Boulevard in beautiful downtown Montreal. I'm sorry I couldn't do any kind of taping at the outside, as it is just teeming rain out. So I'm just going to do a little scan of their shop. It's actually a very nice little shop. So hang in there. So here you go on the entrance, and I really have to like this. It's very much stuff for newer vapors. You have the Ego kits, and ironically in that kit is something that I started with, the exact kit in blue, and there it is right over there. They have some AW IMR batteries, of course the lanyards. They have, in amongst that, ironically, they have some Canthal and a new Aspire Nautilus. And as we go along, you can see that they really are tailored. Unfortunately, this window is to the back of us, but they are tailored to, at the front, very much the beginner and maybe second level vapor, second and third level vapor. First of all, thanks to Anne for videotaping. Here I am with Mario from G2K Vapes. And Mario, tell us about your shop. When did you open? What's going on?
We opened about 3 months ago. I didn't open this one up, as you know. We opened up the third shop location yet to be determined. I met these guys like a couple months ago and we hit it off. I have my own online shop. I've had it for the last year, so closed everything down and decided to merge with these guys because what they're doing is fantastic. They try and be different from everyone else. As you can see, the 5 ponds, lots of mods that you won't see in other shops. So that's it. Our name's getting out there. We're trying to offer the best possible quality and at the best price possible.
Okay, now I notice you do have a lot of beginners level quality and what I call second tier. So that's when we're getting into the Inokins, exactly. And that type of wine there. Then we have over here the mechs. Now, are these authentics?
All authentic, no clones.
So all authentics, and Shy. I guess that's why you're so excited about, because Shy shop is the same way. No, exactly. No clones. It's all authentics. Yeah. It's actually very nice and beautiful. Where do you see this, like right now? Your clientele, are they? You get a lot of beginners?
Yeah, right now, but they're quickly. I noticed that they're quickly moving up a lot faster than before. You'll get your starter kit a couple of weeks later. They want more. They start liking it. They start reading up on the net, and they're here buying more juice, buying better quality juice, buying different mods, and before you know it, they're moving fast these days.
So I think it's very much like most of us. We started with something very beginner, entry level, and then
everyone has the same.
Yeah, increase it very.
Which is the great. You know, people get into it. You get to help them out, and as long as they're off the analogs, so whatever we can do to help them, that's what's important.
Good point. If you didn't catch that, he said, as long as you're off the analogs, and I couldn't agree more. The 5-pond line, this is new to you, or was it?
No, we launched it about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Only ones in Montreal right now that have it, and I think we have everything right now in stock. So fantastic juices.
Yeah.
Can't complain about them. They're awesome.
You gotta love them. Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation to come over, and like I said, I've been trying to get here for a while, and I'm glad I actually took a vacation day to get here, because it's not an easy walk from work. I work down on St. Catherine Street, so it's quite a ways out here, yeah. So, but thank you very much. It's a great looking shop. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Anytime.
And folks, we'll be back in a minute, and I'll give you my final views. Thanks. So my first impression walking in the door is I was glad that I had my authentic nemesis with me, because these guys, they don't carry any clones. They're all authentic. Um, and the juices they carry very high-end juices. And they have some pretty good thoughts about vaping in Montreal and vaping in general. Have a listen.
Okay, so again, here I'm with Mario and Robert, the owner of G2K, I'm sorry, here on Saint Laurent. And they carry a line of juice called Dr. Stanley Clark's. I understand the name of it. And we were just having a really good conversation. Now, Robert's kind of shy, so he doesn't want to talk on video, but they use these box-type mods here, and they figure that's the wave of the future, and that's the way it's going to go. And I have to agree with them. There's so many of them out on the market. And they carry the authentic Vapor Shark here. They have the authentic IPV2. And they were just showing me here a bottle of Dr. Stanley Clark's snake oil. The only ones in Montreal that carry it. And will this be sold online when you shop online?
Eventually, yes.
Okay, so you will be able to get this online eventually. It is in from the UK, so I'm really thrilled. This is something. What do you think? In a dripper?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be meeting my my magma soon. Probably later on tonight.
Any sort of tank is fine.
Any kind of tank is fine.
Kind of.
Okay. And so what is this? This is 50-50, 60-40, 60 PG, 40 VG, and 6 milligrams. So we're going to be talking about this later as well.
So that's Robert now with Mario, and that gives you an idea of their thoughts and what's going to, little idea of what's going to happen in the future for them. Great guys. We're going to be looking at some of the products that they carry. And the first thing that I purchased today is a drip tip from Two Puffs. And I'm just now getting into the higher end drip tips. And this certainly to me is a very nice looking drip tip. It actually comes apart in two sections. At the top, it just sort of, you pull it apart and there you go. For cleaning, you can actually use, if you wanted to do that, it'll work. But I like a bit of clearance, so I'm using both parts to it. And this is called La Paz, I believe. And they have several different types. And when you walk in their shop, they have a nice selection of drip tips. So I got this on my Magma dripper, and with my authentic nemesis that was presented to me by my Facebook family, Vaping Newbies, with all the gang and Phil, Wes, and Sadie Dearest, presented this to me. Quite touching. And there you go. I think that looks really nice. And they do have that at G2K Vapes. Very nice drip tips, a very nice selection. And as you mentioned, all authentics. They don't sell any clones at all. And take a look. This is very short. Take a look at how their juice line looks.
I don't know. It's selling.
Yeah,
I'll be bringing a few pieces back. If you really want one.
So as you can see, folks, again, I talk about the elegance of their juices. And as you saw from that very quick snippet, I certainly wasn't lying. It is really well presented. Okay, so now we're going to look at one of those juices. And before I start, taste is subjective. And what you like, I might not. What I like, you might not. So we have to keep that in mind. But Robert presented this to me. It is a bottle of Dr. Stanley Clark's original recipe snake oil. I don't know if you can see that. The packaging, exquisite. It makes you think of old Western town medicine with that glass bottle. Very well written out. There's the expiry date on the back, and it obviously is a dripper type top. However, the one thing that was missing on this, it's not child-proof, so you want to keep that in mind. It just unscrews, and I think in this day and age, they should all be a child-proof top. But having said that, this, which came all the way from UK, comes in pre-steeped. Before they ship it from the UK, it actually steeps for 14 days. So when you buy it, you don't have to wait. It's ready to go. And Robert was saying, oh, you can use this in anything, a tank, a dripper. Well, Robert, I'm going with the dripper on this one because I wanted to get the full idea of what this juice is. I've been dripping this since I got home. I changed the cotton, in my dripper for it, and washed out the new drip tip and put it in my Nemesis. So it's at 0.65 dual coil, and I'll tell you folks, it tastes great. Now, I sort of cheated on this one because I couldn't put my finger on what I'm tasting, and the website said it was citrus. Not sure I'm getting citrus on it, but I'm getting perhaps a mild fruity flavor with a cool kick to it. They are saying it's menthol. I'm not 100% sure I'm getting menthol. I just really like the coolness. And I'll tell you, Robert at G2K said, "Oh yeah, you're going to like this," so I picked it up. And Robert, dead on. I'm loving this juice. It is really, really nice. And it's unfortunate that their website's not ready yet, but when it does become ready and this juice becomes ready, you're going to want to pick it up. So keep an eye on them, folks. It is really a nice juice. And if you're in Montreal or coming to Montreal, you're going to want to drop by and pick up a few of their juices because they really were good. Coming home from Vape Can with some of the juices being so disappointing, this juice certainly made up for it in spades. So good job on that. The next product, the final product we're going to look at tonight, is a new Clearmizer for me. And I look at this with a bit of trepidation because the original one that I bought, I wasn't a fan of. But I came home, washed this out, put in a new head, and folks, we're talking about the Nautilus Mini. So Aspire does one thing extremely well, and that's their packaging. So you get this sort of plastic wrap box, and then you remove that sleeve, and there's your box. Open it up. You do have an instruction booklet, and then inside here you have the tank, a beauty ring up here, and then a spare coil. There is one that's in the tank, and then there's one beside the tank, so you do have a spare coil. The coil that I'm going to be using is 1.8 ohms. Let's take a look at the tank. We're going to talk about the coils in a minute, but let's take a look at the tank. It is smallish. It's very reminiscent of the Nautilus, so that's why I sort of raised an eyebrow. It holds approximately 2 milliliters of e-juice. It has a removable 510 drip tip, but you know what? I like the look of that, and I'll tell you, folks, I've had this on a couple of devices since I got it, and it fits really well. So what we're going to do is we'll put this on an SVD, and I think that looks really nice indeed there. And then I'm going to move this over onto a DNA, and I think it looks equally as good. I think that looks great. I think they really did a nice job of how it looks. Now, the most important aspect of the Nautilus, the Aspire Nautilus, is the airflow. This has 4 airflow holes in different millimeter size: 9, 1.1 millimeter, 1.4 millimeter, and 1.8 millimeter. And it's worked by a dial that's on the bottom right here. So you just turn that around. And again, one thing that I find Aspire does that I wish more Clearmizer companies do is there's a click, so you know it's locked in place. It is a bottom-fed tank, so you want to make sure that when you're filling it, you're turning it upside down, and you do not get any juice in the tube in the middle. Okay, you want to make sure it's tilted approximately 45 degrees and feed it in that way. Really, really nice looking. At the top, it has sort of that worked edge, and then it's continued on the bottom, and then it has a rigid bottom to it, which I think is really, really well done. So with the Pyrex glass tank, you don't have to worry about tank cracking juices. You're good to go. And I had enough faith in Robert and Mario that I actually, after I cleaned it all out and put in the coil, or put in the coil, I actually put in my 5 Pawns Gambit, and I don't like to play around with that. That's usually for a special occasion. By the way, that also is available at G2K Vapes. But the beauty of this is the design of their new coil. It is not a vertical coil. I'm sorry, horizontal coil. It's in fact a vertical coil, which is very reminiscent of a cartomizer type tank. And the way the juice is fed in there and then warmed up, it's completely different. So I'm truly hoping that these coils will last longer than the original coils, which I seem to be going through a lot of. Actually, I'm going to probably do another video in a few weeks to revisit this, or you know what, folks? I'll wait till G2K is online, and then I'll revisit G2K and give you an update on this tank. But I'll tell you something. I am a K-Fun freak. Anybody that watches my videos or knows me on Facebook knows this to be true. This, a clear miser, can easily stand up to them. Really good taste. Easy to change the air hole size. I love a loose draw, so I have it at the 1.8 millimeter. You can dial it down if you like the tight draw. It is quite easy to do. But the flavor, I'm beside myself. Very, very well done, Aspire. If I sound overly excited, I actually am. It's, again, when you get something you're sort of on the fence about it, and then it works so well, you're going to be surprised. So that's the Aspire Nautilus. And yes, I'm sorry, I should say Nautilus Mini. And I'll tell you something. Do I recommend this tank? I most certainly do. It is a very nice tank. Yeah, it doesn't hold 5 milliliters of juice. Hey, what are you going to do? It will hold approximately 2. And with the good taste, easy to change heads, in and out, boom, done, easy peasy. I'm loving it. So good job, Aspire. Thank you, G2K, for making me a believer in the Nautilus again. So there you go, folks. As I mentioned before, I will be coming back. I'm going to revisit this tank when they get the website up online, because I'll tell you, folks, you're going to want to visit this shop, because if you're carrying that kind of quality of products, if you're carrying that kind of quality of e-juice, you can't lose. So you might want to take a look at them. Thanks for spending the time with me, folks. You know I like spending time with you. Stay healthy. Happy vaping. Take care, folks.